It's Mark with Ida History. I'd like to talk about that gentleman sitting in a chair with his book there. His name is Richard Bogle, and he was born enslaved on the island of Jamaica in 1835. 1847, he escapes bondage, stows away on a ship bound for New York. It wasn't very easy there either, so by 1851, at the age of 16, he heads west on the Oregon Trail. But he breaks off on the California Trail and heads to California, where there's mining going on. Does well enough mining up in Idaho, because in 1860 they strike gold up around Orofino Creek, Florence, Idaho, Pierce, Idaho, so well that he moves to Walla Walla, Washington in 1863. They start a saloon and a barber shop on Main Street in Walla Walla, but Walla Walla was super segregated. And so in the back room of said shaving saloon, there is a mini hostel for black people, because you couldn't get a hotel room in Walla Walla as a black person. You couldn't eat at a restaurant. A few videos before, I talked about Ferd Patterson, and he was an outlaw, a son of the South, a supporter of the Confederate cause. Well, he had killed a pro-Union marshal named Pinkham in Idaho City in 1865, and well, though acquitted by the Southern Democrat jury, vigilantes were going to hang him. So he goes to Walla Walla and he starts to frequent this African-American barbershop, where a man named Donahue blasts him into eternity, February of 1866. Well, meanwhile, in the back, there's a guy named Slim Jim, and he's a 20-year-old black man. So he had stabbed somebody in Idaho City in 1865, and he ran to Walla Walla just like Ferd. But he is hired by a guy named Big Red Billings in 1866 to break out from jail. Big Red's brother, and I can't make this up, Booger Bart. Slim Jim is hired and told to break them out. So he brings a lunch sack, shit you not, filled with hardware, and he pays off the guard, and the guys break out. Well, they're caught, and they tell that Slim Jim is the one who busted them out. And so in 1866, one late night, the Vigilance Committee break into the back of this barber shop. They start to harass and violently treat the black men that are living there in the back. And finally, Slim Jim cops to being there. He was lynched that night 3/4 of a mile outside of town. I think I'm getting into this to look into a barbershop owner, and it ends in the lynching of a black man out west. And I wish I could say this, surprised me. Richard Bogle ended up a denizen of the community in a token sort of way. But another black man gets lynched for having killed or shot nobody.